Hello and welcome to our NA Last Chance Qualifiers predictions video. So this is going to be for who gets the last chance spot at Lyon Worlds. So in Group A, we'll start with Complexity and Lil Step Bros. As a reminder, Complexity is CRR, Diaz Frosty, Lil Step Bros is Alpha Kep, Guh, and Oath. Now, I think it's a pretty safe bet to pick Complexity here. The question to me is, do the Step Bros get a game off of Complexity? I'm going to say no. I don't think so. Last time the little Step Bros were in an open top group stage, I don't remember what event that was. It was like either 4, 5, or 6, I think. And I got a lot of comments about people saying they're expecting him to go all the way and win it all. But obviously all those people were joking. But solid team. I do think that of this team, Guh is very much on the upswing for his RLCS career. So we should be seeing some interesting things from him next year. He might possibly be on, no offense to the Step Bros, but he might be on a more competitive roster next year. Unless he goes full streamer route like Alpha Kep. But I think, he's playing good. Pepega Shake. This is Parth, Crispy, and Zanil versus the Psycho Rangers, which is T. Carell, Wiz, and Hexic. So Parth, Crispy, Zanil, T. Carell, Wiz, and Hexic. Now let's look at how both these teams did in Swiss. Pepega Shake versus Psycho Rangers. It's hard to keep all these in mind. So Psycho Rangers 3-2'd whatever though. Swept Scoops Ahoy. Got swept by Complexity and beat SOS 3-1. SOS is a good team. Okay, how about Pepega Shake? They lost to Norms, but swept Step Bros, and swept Pirates. Who's Norms. Sorry. Cosmic, Hazo, and Skippy. I'm going to give it to Pepega Shake. I'm still I don't know if I would say I'm a Parth believer, but I feel like Parth, Zanil, and Crispy have a higher ceiling than T. Carell, Wiz, and Hexic. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe we put that one as kind of a close game, close series, because I could see this team picking up a couple games. NPL and Affinity. So NPL is going to be Lion Blaze, Panda, and Knight. I guess I should say Knight, Panda, and Lion Blaze to match the name. And then Affinity will be Percy, Adum, and Diaz. The what we would say American Diaz versus the Brazilian Diaz from Complexity, right? Just to keep it complicated, there's Diaz from Brazil, and then this is Diaz from America or USA. So let's see. I think I like NPL here better. Let me take a quick peek at. Okay, Affinity lost to Complexity and lost to BOTB, but they beat 3 teams that didn't qualify. Okay, how did NPL do? NPL actually did great. Even beat Pirates on a boat. I think this is probably a 3-1 for NPL. Carl versus Norms. I have to look up every single team because I don't know any of them off the top of my head. Com, 5-Up, and Talk. Solid team. Versus Norms, which is the other team we just looked at, which was Cosmic, Hazo, and Skippy. Let's just double check that Carl did okay. Yeah, Carl went 3-1, but did get swept by the boys. Interesting. Whereas the Norms lost to Rebellion and lost to Garrett, AJ, and Squishy, but beat a couple other good teams. I think I like Carl here as well, but maybe that one's also kind of close. So that makes Complexity, Pepega Shake, NPL, and Carl in the upper semifinals for me. So Complexity versus Pepega Shake, which is obviously CRR Diaz Frosty versus Parth, Crispy, Zanil. I think I still like Complexity here. To give a spoiler, they are the team that I think is the best. I think they are the best team in this group of 16. So I do expect them to win, especially these early matches. But you never know. NPL versus Carl. NPL is going to be Knight, Panda, Lion Blaze. Carl is going to be Calm, 5 Up, and Talk. Ooh, this one's kind of tough. I might just cop out and go with whoever did best in Swiss. 3-1 and 2 versus 3-0 and -2. And the higher your Buchel score, the harder your roster was. So I think I'm actually going to pick Carl here, but let's make it close. I don't think that's a bad pick either way. And then for the lowers, we'll do Step Bros versus Psycho Rangers. Step Bros, of course, are Alpha Cap, Gut, and Oath. Psycho Rangers are T. Corell, Wiz, and Hexic. This is a grudge match, right? Because I think T. Corell played on the Step Bros. And I don't know if he got replaced by Oath or if he went to play with a different team. I don't know any of the background. So if you know some of the drama there, the controversy, let us know in the comments so that way we can pick a side. I think I like Psycho Rangers here better, but maybe it's close. Affinity versus Norms, Percy, Adum, Diaz. Norms is going to be Cosmic, Hazo, Skippy. Norms versus Affinity. Affinity kind of snuck in at the end. Norms kind of snuck in. I'm going to give it to Norms on another close match in the lowers. And it's like I have to continue looking up these team names because they should. I almost wonder, like, I don't want to discourage people from coming up with fun team names, but it almost feels like if you don't have an org, you should just be the 3-player names as your team name. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad pick. You guys let me know if you think that's a silly idea. Lion Blaze, Panda Knight versus Psycho Rangers. I do think NPL gets the win here. Papega Shake versus Norms. Parth, Crispy Zanil, Cosmic. I do like that. I think Parth has something to show us this tournament, being one of the people. Plus, I want to see him play against Shopify Rebellion, which can only happen if they proceed through here. Now, as a reminder, if you want to do this own bracket, you got to go to x.com/CodyVRL. He's the one that creates these brackets, and you got to follow him and then download it and make a copy of the sheet, and it's really that easy. And he does it for pretty much every single RLCS event. So make sure you show him some love. Shopify Rebellion versus Hey Bro. So Shopify Rebellion is 2-piece, Reddles, and Wavy now. So as a reminder, when Rebellion started this year, it was 2-piece, Parth, and Justin. And then Justin got traded for Reddles. Then they competed for that for a little bit. And now they swapped out Parth and replaced him with Wavy, who has always been one of the highest talent RLCS NA players for like the last 2 seasons that couldn't quite find a premium roster. I don't know. You guys let me know if you think differently. He always seemed like a extremely talented ones player. I mean, he's actually got several notable wins over Diaz, the Brazilian, who most people would consider the best 1v1 player in NA. Wavy has a good counter style to Diaz, and so you can actually watch some Fear or Johnny Boy show matches where Wavy actually beats Diaz. I think the last time Diaz probably beat Wavy, but that is, something to value. I think, high level 1v1 is always going to translate pretty well into 3v3 Rocket League. It's not 1-to-1, but it's a good indicator. The best 1v1 players happen to also be very good at 2v2 and 3v3. So anyways, Wavy is a very talented 1v1 player and is now starting to show some 3v3 skills. So hopefully this roster pulls it together. All that to say, Hey Bro is Creams, Hockey, and Gyro. I do think that's probably a 3-1. Let me look at how Rebellion did. They dropped a game in every series, so I think that will be continuing. Whereas Hey Bro basically scraped in. I mean, they got some good wins. SOS was probably their best win, but yeah, I think they continue that trend. Okay, beat BOTB and Gas. So BOTB is Realize, Alraz, and Repeat. Gas is Garrett, AJ, and Squishy. I think I like Garrett, AJ, and Squishy just for pure experience, but let's see. I mean, BOTB beat some good teams. Lost to the boys. Gas lost to Rebellion, but didn't sweep, but did well for the rest. I'm actually going to give this to the experience here and give it a 3-1 to Gas. But I'm not surprised if BOTB does better based on how their Swiss went. But, you know, group stage is a little different than Swiss. There's higher pressure. So maybe that has some effect on these players. We'll see. The boys and Pirates. The boys roster is Aqua, Evo, and Hoxer. Also would consider myself a Hoxer believer. As a reminder, he was on the 9 Lives roster previously. But then that kind of roster got dissolved as far as I understand. It kind of fell apart. And then Pirates on a Boat is Andy, RS, and Mech. Mech being one of the coolest names in usernames for Rocket League. Wish I would have thought of that 10 years ago. But good for him for getting it. I think I like the boys here, but let's just double check. The boys had a great Swiss. They went 3-0, only dropping 1 game. And they beat 2 teams that qualified top 4 in their section, which is pretty strong. And then Pirates they lost to NPL and they lost to Pepega, but they beat the teams below them. I think based on that, it looks like, it looks like my internet's dying. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I do think the boys take this one. 100 by 35 in Ratopia, or Ratopia, depending on how you want to say it. 100 by 35 is going to be Expert, Devo, and Matter. Ratopia is going to be Snaz, Roxers, or Roars, and Lunar Brawler. To be honest, I don't really know those players. Ratopia lost to Complexity and BOTB. 100 by 35 lost to Rebellion only. I think I got to give it to them. So that's going to be Rebellion versus Gas. I expect a repeat there. 3-1. The boys versus 100 by 35. I like the boys here, but maybe a closer series. Let's look at the lowers. Hey Bro versus BOTB. As a reminder, Hey Bro is Creams, Hockey, and Gyro. BOTB is Realize, Alraz, and Repeat. I think I like Hey Bro here, although that does put BOTB out early when they had pretty good showing in Swiss, but I think they have a tough bracket, one of the tougher brackets. Pirates versus Ratopia. Let's go ahead and Pirates is Andy, Eris, and Mech. Ratopia is Snaz, Roxers, and Lunar. I'm going to go ahead and give this to Pirates. 100 by 35 versus Hey Bro. I think I like 100 by 35 in a close match here. Gas versus Pirates. I do like the Pirates. No offense to the Gas guys. The fact that they don't really like scrim or play together, I think, does bite them. They can't skill diff every team, especially at these, as the teams dwindle down and there's less. Okay, so let's look at where that shakes out for this. If you guys have any disagreements, you got to make sure not only do you tell me that you disagree in the comments, but you got to at least please give me a reason why you disagree, because that helps me learn. So that's the same thing I ask for every predictions video. If you disagree with me, please tell me why, so that way I can understand your perspective. Okay, lower round 1. These are the best of 7s. Let's do NPL Pirates on a Boat. NPL is Knight, Panda, Line Blaze versus Pirates on a Boat, which is Andy, Eris, and Mech. I think I like Pirates on a Boat here, 4-2. 100 by 35, Pepega Shake. Expert, Devo, Matter. Parth, Crispy, Zanil. I think I like this as a close series, and Pepega Shake continues on. I think I'm still kind of high on Parth. I feel like The issues on Rebellion for Parth were less so based on skill, more so based on strategy and tactics of the team, in my opinion. So they kind of need Parth to do well to reinforce that theory. Now let's go upper quarterfinals, Complexity versus the boys. I do believe Complexity sweeps the boys there. I think the boys is a solid team, but Complexity is better and have been playing together for a little bit longer. Rebellion versus Carl. I also think that Rebellion takes this one, and it's probably not a super close match. Maybe 4-2 instead. I don't know. We'll see. Kind of always curious. Shopify Rebellion sometimes does great, sometimes does absolutely terrible. So we could have already been eliminated by this point. But that's my predictions so far, getting them at least top 4. Let's go with the boys versus Pirates on a Boat. The boys, Aqua Eva Hoxer, Pirates on a Boat, Andy Aris Mech. I actually like the boys here, assuming they stay good together, no tilt. Oops, it's 4 wins. Pirates get 2 on them probably, or maybe 3. Let's make it a close series. Carl versus Pepega Shake. Carl's going to be calm, 5 up and talk. Pepega Shake is going to be Parth, Crispy, Zanil. I think I like Carl here, actually. I keep putting 3. Yeah, I mean, I just come 5 up and talk. Parth, Crispy, Zanil. You know, this could actually be a much closer series. I'm gonna give it a 4-2, and then we'll see, you know, if they play each other. That leaves our top 4 as Rebellion versus the boys. Shopify Rebellion is 2-piece Rattles Wavy. The boys is Aqua Evo Hoxer. I think it is time for my first hot take, possibly controversial take. Give it to the boys, game 7. Rebellion. Choke. Don't want them to, but I anticipate them to. I think that the boys, between Aqua, Evo, and especially Hoxer, have the skill to get in there and win. I like that they're bringing a coach. It's not just 3 dudes playing together. No offense to these other rosters who have very talented teams. Rebellion, love all these guys. They're all very good players. I don't know how much synergy Wavy has with 2-piece and Ruddles at this point yet. I'm assuming they're all friendly, but you know, it takes hours to get good on a team together. So I think both of these teams kind of have roster switch ups heading into this. But I've liked what I've seen from the boys more than I've liked what I've seen from Shopify Rebellion. So I'm going to go with the boys here to go into the grand final. Then we've got Complexity versus Carl. As a reminder, Carl is calm, 5 up and talk. I do believe that Complexity wins that out. And then the grand final would be the boys versus Complexity. Not surprising here. I like I like Complexity. Wow, the phrasing of that is crazy. I like Complexity over the boys. I do think Aqua, Evo, and Hoxer have the capacity and the peak to beat Complexity, but I do think that Complexity knows this is their game to win, and they need to come out, play well, and they're going to do well under that pressure. So I do think that will be not close. I think Complexity has a higher level, and then there's every other team below it, which then puts my final results here. How do you guys think I did? What's your review? You let me know, please, of your brackets. Did we have the same top 4? Did you have different teams in here? Do you have Little Step Bros going all the way to the grand final and winning it all in a sweep? You let me know what your predictions are. We'll certainly be all watching this weekend. Thank you so much for all the support. Appreciate all the comments and discussion that we've been having on these RLCS videos. There'll be more coming soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.